Real motion getter. Stay in motion. Gonna keep that motion. We gonna stay on top. $1 million nigga. $1 billion nigga. This is not no cap talk.
Motion Mondays. We here, we back. What's up, family? What's the deal? Dreamwise here for another one. Yes, sir. Motion Mondays. Stay in motion. This is where I go down my Instagram feed and we feed our spirit high vibrational information, high vibrational messages, high vibrational energy to put us in the best situation possible, to be moving us in a space of power, strength, God. So I'm excited about this build, especially today. I'm gonna give y'all some Labor Day rituals to get out of your job. I did a Labor Day build a few years ago, and I dived deep into the fold of what Labor Day actually is and the meaning of it, and how it's a ritual to commemorate the working class. Essentially, business owners got together and they say, you know what? Let's give these niggas a day. And let's make sure we give them a day to celebrate them for all the hard work, for all the energy that they're putting out, investing into our businesses. Even though we're paying them a smaller percentage of what they can actually make, we're just going to celebrate them and give them this day so they can be at bay. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, you know, I can't make it up. Look, hold on. Let's see. This is what Labor Day means. It says, where did Labor Day come from? Labor Day was created as a way to acknowledge and pay tribute to the workforce for all that they have done to make our country prosperous and strong. The first Labor Day was celebrated in New York City, and other cities followed this example in the following years. It was in 1894 that Congress passed a law making the first Monday of September a legal holiday. So yeah, Labor Day is one of those days that you understand that, you know, they're giving you something. They're trying to appease you. It's almost like the same thing. It's just on a grander scale when you look at it. Because essentially what happened was in 1894, the working class, they were factories and mill workers, and they were fed up, and they had a union, right? And in the union, essentially what happened was in New York, these factory workers, these, you know, hands-on guys was fed up. They like, damn, nigga, we need a break. You feel me? Like, y'all beating us to a pulp. Y'all fucking us up. And sure enough, the business owners came together and said, you know what? In New York, they said, you know what? Let's give them a break. Let's give them this one day so they can keep on working, keep on grinding for us. And you know, let's just celebrate them because we don't want them to not do the job, right? So since they're complaining and since they're fed up, all right, let's give them a day. Boom. So they gave them a day called Labor Day, and then that thing tumbleweeded into a bigger and bigger thing, which is now this national holiday where you off at work. So you know what I'm saying? It's a thing where we got to understand to the core the energy of it. You feel me? More than anything, because there's always a story behind these holidays, and the energy of it is not to celebrate you in a way of congratulations for working 40-hour work weeks and stuff like that, right? It's to appease your ego, so essentially you won't run amok on this bitch. See, the beautiful thing about really looking at who you are and loving on yourself and moving into a space of God, which this is what we're all practicing, right? Is that you start to realize what you came down here to do. And what you came down here to do is bigger than you just giving out your energy and not reciprocating from it. If you believe you're reciprocating from it based off of money, then you're still in the human. We get it. That's the survival mechanism that you need. But at the same time, at the end of the day, there's something bigger that's pushing you into another level of genius, into God. And essentially, that's your dharma. And your dharma is something of what you're giving to others. Doesn't mean like in the aspect of, you got to physically give something to them. You can give something to people in the form of you singing and they feel blessed. You can give something to people in the form of, communication, as what I do on these YouTube streets. You give something in the form of a product that you have, right? So your dharma is a part of your spiritual walk down here on earth. And that's a big thing for us to understand. If your job, and it's not to shit on jobs, I just want to make sure that we understand that to the core. If your job is not feeding that urge, that soul urge of you helping others, right? And you can't really see no place where you're actually giving to others in a way of your spiritual gifts, your talents, your divine power that you have, then that job is just really for your survival. And we're out of the survival mode. Look at this dharma. The true meaning of dharma. There is no appropriate equivalent word for dharma in the English language. Life without dharma is akin to life without oxygen. That, in the other words, is being as good as dead. Dharma is the soul of an individual. If everyone complies with the teachings of Dharma, nature will become favorable to human happiness. So remember, your Dharma is something that essentially that you want to give to others in the form of, your gifts, your talents, whatever it might be in this particular world. I'm not saying you can't have a job. I'm saying that you have to be pursuing and pushing forward your dharma to make things grow for you, to be fulfilled in this particular dimension that we're in. Look, check this out. Let me show y'all this. Joe Rogan on the rat race. Okay, let's see. Oh, hold on. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right.
I think you said people are conditioned to think. I think people are conditioned not to think anymore. They're conditioned to do exactly what they're told.
Yeah.
By their news station, by their politician. People don't want to think for themselves anymore.
Well, they're conditioned at work. Think about if you have a job. The majority of people in this country have a job where you have a boss. The bosses are a very small minority. The majority of people work for that boss. If you work for a corporation, they have very strict rules that they'd like you to follow. There's behavior rules, there's language rules, there's dress rules, there's, rules about the time you're supposed to be there and the amount of work you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to take home and what's required of you. People are conditioned to have someone tell them what they can and can't do. And then they get off on Friday and they can't wait to get drunk. And that's part of why they want to get drunk, is they want to escape. They want to escape this grind of a world. A person who can become autonomous, a person who can have their own job where it's their business or it's their product that they're selling or their art that they're selling, or there's something where you can be self-sufficient. That is the biggest freedom that a person can have in this culture. And most people don't have that freedom. So most people are conditioned to have someone lay the rules out for them, tell them when they're supposed to be there, tell them what they get when they work for an hour. That most people don't have the ability to just think for themselves. It's been taken away from them because they want to make a living.
And then you get into student loans.
Well, that's the craziest one, right? Because you can't even get rid of those.
Right. Every other right.
Every other loan. Yeah. You can go bankrupt.
You can bankrupt.
Yeah.
Except for
student loans. I know of people that are getting Social Security docked. Their Social Security money is being docked because they owe student loans. So you're at the finish line. It's the end of your life. And you owe money for loans you took out when you were 18 and now you're 65. That's a rough way to leave this life. It's a rough, and the amount of interest based on it. I was reading about this woman who took.
No, I don't want I want the family to understand this. I don't want y'all to think that, you know, you did something wrong, because I have student loans, right? And I worked a job as well. You feel me? I think the biggest thing I want to accomplish in this build today is understanding that, okay, you went through this particular journey. It's the same thing like religion, when you believed in Jesus and stuff like that, right? There's something deeper pushing you as a spiritual being. As a human being, you are prone to survival. As a spiritual being, you're moving into something that's greater, something that's beyond this physical meat suit that you're in, or your ability to, or the glamour that you're in, right? The aspect of you that wants to show off to others, right? And be seen and shit. Some people just be working. Some people single as a bird and is working to shit on other people subconsciously. And then they have something in the back of their spirit, in the back of their being, that's saying, hey, you really want to do this. But that ego is just a little bit heavier than spirit. You really want to do something greater, right? You really want to do something grand, something magnificent that will help others. That's the whole point of Dharma, right? But your ego is like, shit, I really want to shit on these niggas too, heavier. So I'm going to keep on busting my ass 48 hours a week at this job, just so that goddamn 6 hours that I get to pull up, niggas can see me shining on their bitch ass. And that will feel better when they see me at the, the brunch and shit. You feel me? It's time to reverse the polarity, because it's essentially you're getting caught up in the earth when you're doing that. You're in the space of the Goyim, the Walking Dead. See, a spiritual being is somebody that is about their spirit and is about their journey. And the passion of the Christ is as simply as the passion that you have within you that you want to put down in this particular earth. Now, I'm not telling you to leave your job or no shit like that, right? We still got bills. We got things that we got to handle, right? I'm saying boys can actually put down plans to feed their Dharma by doing something every day according to their spirit, right? Check this video out. Dr. Claude Anderson, the great, the OG.
If you don't have any businesses, you're going out of existence. No other group is that silly to tell their children, go off and get a good education and then go get yourself a good job working in a white company someplace. We're the only people that don't encourage our children to start businesses. You cannot get rich working a job. The only way you can get rich working a job is if you're good at stealing. A business will redistribute wealth and power to you 8 times faster. The system is set up where those who don't have businesses pay all the taxes. And we're the only people who have no businesses. Black folk are paying more than their share of taxes because we are so silly we won't start businesses.
The great Claude Anderson. So I believe everybody should start a business. There's no other way around it, just based off of it will do something and transform you in a particular way. When I was at my job, I didn't really know that I would be doing what I'm doing now. I didn't have no idea what I would be doing. I didn't know I was going to be on YouTube. That's for sure. I definitely didn't know I was going to be selling supplements. The thing that I did was I worked on myself spiritually heavy. And the spirit just kind of moved me into the aspect of saying, hey, look, you actually got an understanding, a deeper understanding for this thing, rather than being in this place of the conspiracy theory agenda machine that's on YouTube. So my dharma is essentially just giving people the groundwork basis of, look, you got to get to work. There's no other way. The more you work on yourself, the more you get further in your spiritual journey, the easier life gets, the easier the human gets. And that's essentially what I did. I did particular rituals when I was at a job that essentially got me out. One ritual in particular that you could do is get you a black candle. This is to banish any kind of worker energy. It's not to banish a job, but the worker energy is a key thing, right? Get you a black candle. This is banishing that particular, a 7-day black candle, right? I had one up in my apartment that we were in, 7-day black candle. Cause you know, it's a program that's on you that's keeping you in the loop of, okay, I'm a worker, so fucking get up and go to work. So it's hard to go hunt your own food if you ain't never, did it before. You feel me? Now, luckily, I've done it before, so it was not that big of an adjustment when I did come into entrepreneurship. But essentially, you have to have a particular mindset about it. You feel me? Because it's not like a thing where you're just gonna just coast through this thing. You're gonna have to go through the grind. But that's part of the beauty of it. Because again, remember, every pain, every uncomfortable feeling is actually a lesson that you're learning. And that's what you came down here to do, is learn and acquire all these lessons. And the greater and greater you get through these lessons learned is going to help you understand yourself, one, right, to on a whole nother level. And then it's going to build up a certain character inside of you that makes you stronger, that makes you overcome a whole bunch of shit. You feel me? So then it's going to be a sense as you, until everything lines up for you, until the things start lining up for you. But you got to jump out there somewhere. You feel me? It's kind of like getting kicked out of your house and shit, out of your mama's house. You got to figure it out quick. You feel me? And you're just on your own, and you're like, oh shit, okay, bills. Hey, how do I do this? How do I eat? Right? You feel me? Nigga, there was a time this was when I was out of the game. Essentially, I was eating goddamn, what's that, Church's chicken and Frenchies every day. Because they had the $1 menus. Yeah, I remember that, the 2-piece. You feel me? I was a personal trainer. I was trying to change my life, but shit, in that drastic change that I just made, I had to figure it out quickly. You feel me? So now all of a sudden, I'm trying to become anew, but the money is gone. So I literally had to look up and say, all right, how I'm gonna do this? So essentially what I did was, the only food I ate was chicken. I was eating chicken like a motherfucker, like I was a goddamn 2-piece Tuesdays at Frenchie's was Monday. 2-piece Tuesdays was Tuesday. 2-piece Tuesdays again on Frenchie's on Wednesdays. 2-piece Tuesdays at churches on Thursday. Nigga, I'll spend $5 a day and be good, and give me some jalapenos and shit. Ha! And make it. You feel me? Shit, using the grind, you have to figure that shit out. And it was a beautiful experience that I had, because again, I was still driving slab and shit. Car wasn't the best. The goddamn gas light, the gas thing wasn't working, so I didn't know how much gas I had in my car. I'm just trying to survive, man. I'm talking about in a whole nother world and reality from where I came from, but I knew it was beneficial for my spirit. And the thing that I kept on thinking and knowing was, I'm growing in this experience. Everything's going to work out for me. You feel me? Everything is going to be magnificent, right? And sure enough, acquired a job as a teacher. You feel me? Just based off of me keeping the funk alive, right? And then from that job thing, from doing that job, spun delayed into entrepreneurship. So there's a ladder, you feel me? And this ladder has to be walked. And essentially, you know, in the time we're in, and I want to just keep on reiterating this, the 1 year is coming up. Now on 9/9/999, this coming up, September 9th, 2025, I'm going to do a major ritual for the family, or I'm going to give a whole bunch of plays out for the family to do based off of, you know, pushing your 1 year into a new, you feel me? Now, there's a lot of different things about the 1 year that you want to do in order to transform your world. Essentially, the last time I was in the 1 year, I was 33. I was 33. I was already in my job for a few years, PE teacher. Then boom, I got out of that bitch. So 33, I started YouTube. That was the Christ consciousness energy, right? Boom. And then I started YouTube at 33. It was going into 1 year also. Crazy shit. So that whole time I was spundling rituals and everything. And sure enough, 2 years later, I was out of a job. Crazy, nigga. I was making all the Disney videos and shit like that, right? And then establishing myself in this spiritual YouTube content thing. And I knew I wanted to make a difference because, again, you know, there's nobody on here that's talking the shit as the real deal Holyfield. Everybody's talking about conspiracies and blaming things outside of yourself and the aliens are coming. But at the same time, at the end of the day, guess what happens with all of that stuff? It doesn't do nothing. It doesn't move you. You feel me? It puts you in a specific place of the same redundant information that doesn't serve you. What the fuck you supposed to do with that shit? What the hell? Okay, the Anunnaki come. Bet. Nigga, y'all probably still gotta go and work your job. What, you gonna quit? What if they come and make it peaceful and shit and say, hey, we just here, we just trying to see what's going down? What, they gonna come and save your bitch ass? Ha, nigga. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is. You gotta think about it. You gotta think about this thing as a journey, and all this bullshit as information that's out here that's not serving you is keeping you in a debilitating state. We already been through that with the Alex Jones, with the goddamn David Ikes and shit back in the day. I was there doing that shit at 18, 19. I'm goddamn 40. You think I'm supposed to still be in that conspiracy theory draw? Hell nah, boy. And then the thing that happens is one little major event happens every time. And it triggers the aspect of like, oh, see, we told you. See, we told you, but nothing happens. Nigga, 9/11 happened, right? Cool. Right? We was finding out all that information. Dude, that's when I was really into it because that David Icke and shit, they was breaking that shit down. And I was like, oh shit, these towers are falling and shit. Oh, they did that shit, right? Cool. Nigga, you still had to go to class and all of that other stuff. You feel me? Same thing with the corona. Corona came and went. So, nigga, y'all keep on waiting for these events to happen. This shit ain't nothing gonna happen. The only thing you can do, honestly, is work on self. That's it. And if nobody ain't speaking about that, then they're gonna keep you in the game of continuously purchasing something that doesn't serve you. Because that's all it is. They just want your attention so you can be distracted. Distracted just enough so they can keep on getting these YouTube checks or whatever the fuck it is. You feel me? So now you got to really look at yourself in the mirror and blame yourself. Blame yourself heavy and really fall into the love of blaming yourself heavy. Because now when you do that, Now you can get to work on self. Instead of blaming the government, your mama, your child upbringing and shit like that, the hood, white people, blame yourself. Fall in love with blaming yourself and watch how your world shifts. See, the idea of coming down to this earth realm is just to have an adventure. The end. There ain't no goddamn, you're not down here to know how many conspiracy things you can learn and shit. What does that even mean? You got to think this is an illusion. I can prove it through the movie, the book Sync. So now we got to look at this. I was just outside. I seen the birds flying in a triangle form directly. That's Sync. This book right here, Sync. The world is in a computer. You're in a computer program. You feel me? We got to understand that to the core. Like, hey, you don't got that much time. I just turned 40, August 23rd. Nigga, I got at least, let's say everything goes according to plan, 40 more. That's a long ass time. I've lived a big ass life. You think I'm gonna be sitting around 40 more, not fulfilling my dharma? So you got to look at yourself and say, all right, wait a minute. Let me figure out how to at least put down 1 hour a day for me. Because look, this is the thing right here. Look, 8 hours of labor, cool. 8 hours of sleep, cool. So that other 8 hours of recreation, somebody should, and this 8 hours of recreation is really 6 hours when you really boil down to it. Because again, you got to travel, commuting to work and all that other stuff, right? So boom, how do you take an hour of that for yourself? And some of y'all sleep 10 hours. So damn, you're looking at 4 hours. So how do you fulfill your dharma in at least 2 of them hours? Because at least 30 minutes of that is supposed to be spiritual work. Right? Getting into your bag, meditating, working on your emotional system, your chakra system. And then, you know what I'm saying, shadow work, all of that. That's a lot of shit. Time is nothing. When you look at this thing, you like, damn, I really. But still, you're going to have to put in an hour somewhere. You feel me? Work harder on yourself than you work at your job. That's straight up and down. Let me show y'all this. Hold on. Because I just swear, oh boy, I used to listen to Joe Rogan heavy back in the day when he was first in this thing. And this kind of helped me break out and break free and shit.
More prestigious stuff. Get stuff that, you know, all your other stuff having friends are really jealous of your stuff.
Yeah, you're just gonna die, bro. And it's not even long term. I mean, like, what are you getting out of it now?
That's what I meant. That's what's most important.
Yeah, a ton of people that are like, I don't want that shit. So I'm just gonna do a job, you know, working on a tugboat in Seattle for a few months, save up money, and then go fucking enjoy myself.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just choosing to look at everything that they can see, experienced every new place that they can go to. That Henry Rollins podcast, man, it's a world changer.
Yeah.
That crazy fucker.
Yeah,
he's fascinating.
Yeah.
I never met anybody like him. He's really fascinating.
Yeah, he goes and like does stuff and sees stuff. I met a bunch of people doing gap years.
What's a gap year?
Yeah, exactly. What's a gap year? It's all over every other country, just not ours.
What's that mean?
In between high school and college. You're leaving your friends, you're about to make new friends.
Oh, get
out here for a year. In between college and grad school, or college and your first year of work. Now's the time.
Well, European countries have a point in this more relaxed approach to like the future and your life.
Yeah.
They really do. This conqueror's mentality. I wonder how many heart attacks we have in comparison to European people.
I don't know, but it's like we're not living our lives. You know, Germans get off how many? Are you familiar with the vacation time leave in America?
What is it?
It's 2 weeks, pretty much.
That's
everywhere.
it?
2 weeks vacation, 2 weeks sick.
Do you get paid vacation?
Paid vacation, 2 weeks.
Is that standard?
Yeah, that's a standard.
Okay.
That's 9 to 5:30. You know, in Germany and most of Europe, definitely all Scandinavia, you get 25 days off, 5
Jesus.
weeks.
Jesus.
And if you get sick during those weeks off, if you had to go to hospital in wherever country you're in, and you show them I was in a hospital, you get those days back. They'll count against your sick time instead. And they expect you to take the vacation time too. Not like here, where they're like, come on, you can't really use it.
You know what's fucked up?
What?
Sick time. Like I ran out of sick days.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what? What do you mean?
You're sick.
Like you're sick.
Yeah.
Like either you're a fucking liar or I trust you.
Yeah.
Now, if I trust you, you're just really unfortunate. And if I love you and we're friends and we work together, I want you to get better.
Yeah, it
I don't
sucks,
want
but
you
you
to
have mono,
say,
so okay.
yeah, you don't have to come back to work because you already used up your 14 days.
So you get exactly sick the same amount of time every.
So, understand to the core, like we here, family, we here. And this Labor Day thing is a big, I guess what you'll say, play on people's intelligence. You feel me? I'm just keeping it as real as possible. We got to look at it and say, all right, why are they continuously giving me this thing called Labor Day or these different holidays to appease my ego, you feel me, and to keep me just at bay so I can keep on going. Now, again, remember, I'm not saying leave your job or no shit like that. I'm saying the biggest aspect of you down here is to experience your Dharma. And remember, your Dharma is what's going to put you into power, into spiritual power. Dharma, literally what holds together, to uphold, to establish, to support the basis of all order, whether social or moral, the set of universal physical, psychological, and moral laws that governs the universe, one specific duty or responsibility, a particular thing, nature, i.e. it's the Dharma of fire to burn. So fire has to burn, right? So you have to put forth a particular mission down here or you got to come back. Because you were supposed to give some kind of talent, some kind of energy to others that will help this ecosystem grow. And if you're not doing that, then essentially you're just caught up in a survival mode mechanism. So I want to encourage the family, put down an hour a day, 1 hour a day to your goals, your ambitions, whatever that might look like. And, and make it happen for yourself. You feel me? Because that's all you need is 1 hour a day. That 1 hour a day turns into a side business. That side business turns into your main source of income. And don't worry about the time. Don't worry about how long. Just know that it'll happen in the right time for you. All right, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Motion Mondays. I know I went on a tangent there, but we still putting in motion today because that's what it is, family. That's what it is. Got to get this Motion Mondays on. Every Monday, I go down my Instagram feed and we feed our spirit high vibrational information. Speaking of Dharma, boom, the God, Toby. So we had ran into them in an airport and we started talking about the West and started talking about different people we knew from the West, which was fire. And, you know what I'm saying? Essentially what was happening was it was a spiritual thing because, Toby and his wife, they make this particular music that's uplifting, and us being from the same environment, same neighborhoods, exactly same neighborhoods and shit. And then they're putting in the aspect of inspiration through the Christian music thing, right? Even though Toby is just mainly a rapper, but now he got this Christian music thing happening. And then me and D Ray, we're putting it into a spiritual thing. It's still spiritual messages all around the board. So that's absolutely fire. Shout out to them.
It hides in plain sight. It tends to wear 3 masks. I call it the chronic mask of fear. The first one, chronic busyness. Oftentimes we brag about how busy we are. Busy is just procrastination that society rewards. With chronic busyness, you're hiding behind a to-do list that doesn't require any courage.
Oh,
I mean, if everything's so urgent, nothing is important. But here's your take off the mask action. I want you to look at your to-do list today. Search it for that scary one you've been avoiding. Do it first. I'm not playing with you on this. Now share this with yourself, because the next time you try to squirm away from the scary one, I want you to say to yourself, do it first.
that's good. Coach Val's dropping on that shit. Look, you got to do the thing that is fearful to you. Whatever that fear is, you got to move towards that, because that's actually the goal. That's actually the goal. That's actually God. Because essentially the fear, on the other side of fear is love, is power, right? And it's not a fearful thing. It's just your body signaling something that you got to do. And Coach Val is right and exact on that. If you do that fearful thing first, essentially you're going to get into a habit, a habitual habit of continuously challenging that aspect of you. The reason why I go to the gym first now and get up early is because essentially it was a tedious process of being consistent, because I knew the drudgery of going to the gym and working out and putting your body in that particular pain experiment. Because essentially, right, in my mind, I'm like, damn, I could be chilling, I could be, you know what I'm saying, just working on my YouTube or whatever, right? But instead, I challenged myself early, so that hard mind or whatever that feeling is that I am running from, right? You know what I'm saying? Even in the aspect of going to the gym and being amongst humans, you feel me? Going on that treadmill, that goddamn Stairmaster be kicking my ass. You feel me? Putting them weights up. So I challenged myself in that aspect of saying, all right, let me do this thing first, because it is the thing that's kind of, a fear mechanism in my body, right? Because I don't have no body goals. You feel me? I'm just working out because, you got to do that thing, especially once you get to 40 and shit. So you got to start kind of moving your body in a particular way and putting your body in a more health conscious state, right? So now, boom, hit the gym first. That's the first fear trip. And now everything else is a sense, because I already got through that mode.
You're definitely not going to like this second mask, but I got to be honest with you. I wore this mask for a long time, and I recognize you're wearing it too. This is the mask of chronic becoming. See, growth is great. I mean, if I'm growing tomatoes, eventually I'm going to want to eat it. With chronic becoming, at some point, the next version of you needs to stop becoming and arrive. See, a journal that never gets written in is just fear in hardcover. Oh, the best journal is the one with no empty pages left. This is the take off the mask action. What would blank version of me do? The confident version, if that's what you're seeking. The assertive version, if that's what you're becoming. The happy or joyous version. What would that mean? Think, speak, feel, and do. Do it now. I need you to save this, because I need you to come back after you've taken the scary action and done the thing, so you can actually write in the comments, done, after you've done it. This last fear is probably the most controversial. Go ahead and follow now before you hear it. This last one is chronic sacrifice. Serving everyone feels noble, but it's often an excuse to not tend to your own self. You'll say, I just didn't even have enough time to eat. They needed me. That's not love, that's hiding. When irresponsible sacrifice becomes your identity, success never gets an invitation. This is your take off the mask action for chronic sacrifice. Do one thing for you today and every day. And if you even remotely feel guilty, go back to your saved items and watch this again.
Shout out to Coach Val. She be dropping on Instagram. Y'all go follow her. Make sure y'all follow the goddess. Yeah, hey, you can't make it up. I mean, I just said that 1 hour a day. And I would tell y'all the truth, I would do it before you go to work. So let's say you go to work at 9. Damn, that means you got to leave at 8. So you got to get up at 7. You got to get up at 6 to get your spiritual work in and your mission work in. You feel me? Whatever that might look like, to then go to that job, because then at least you feel complete early. Because now if you come home and they already drained your energy from a job that's not serving you, then essentially, you know, you're not going to feel like doing it, right? Like Bobby used to say, niggas just want to come home and scratch their ass and drink a cold one, because they took all your life force energy in that day real quick. And essentially, you know, when we talk about our circadian rhythm, shit, by the time you get to 5 o'clock, it's time to sleep. So now you driving home sleepy, 6 o'clock. You got to drink more and more coffee just to stimulate yourself up. Another thing that I did to get out of my job that was really helpful was I tapped into fasting heavy. Fasting. And the fast is essentially ridding yourself of toxins and dis-ease, or even mental blockages that doesn't serve you. So fasting is a good way to really jumpstart your adventure as well, because the fast used to help my ass out heavy, and I used to get to it. I was doing, you know, you could do the green smoothie fast and stuff like that, right? You could do water fasts, of course, or you could just fast from any particular things that's kind of addictive and kind of keeping you comfortable and shit, right? Because again, the fast is going to push more spirit into you, and you'll be able to receive more channels and downloads about what you're supposed to do, and then you just follow what you're supposed to do. So fasting is a good tool. When I was fasting at that job, I used to take my kids at every period. I took their ass outside. I was a PE teacher, so shit, I was up. Hey, we doing the activity outside today. Every day, they like, again, coach? Yeah, we outside again today. Because again, that outside, them negative ions from nature is going to help you keep on moving in a powerful state. So you want to be outside as much as possible. You feel me? I don't give a fuck how hot it is. You can step in the shade too as well. But the fasting out and being outside is going to help, you know what I'm saying, you push that more powerful, positive energy inside of you. So fasting was a good tool. Obviously, you got to do your meditations, you feel me, if you really want to get out of this. Because see, this Labor Day is actually fucking me up. Nigga, we got 40 packages to deliver, and now I can't deliver them because the goddamn USPS is closed, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, y'all trying to play. And that's just from Sunday. Today is Monday. I'm like, damn, because we dropped all our packages off on Saturday. So now they see y'all shit. It's slowing down my progress. Shit, you feel me? So, you know, I want the family to understand to the core, like, the fasting is definitely gonna like if I had to put one thing down and understand that where I'm at today, it was fasting, because again, it's gonna help secrete and help your pineal gland, and it's gonna secrete that melanin. Y'all check out this Layla Africa video I just seen. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, boom, right here. Once really, you know, Layla Africa, he be talking about all kind of shit, but his ass be right and exact regardless. This him on
where the Europeans have done a lot of anthropological studies. Pineal gland, that's the one that makes melanin. Their pineal gland is 60 to 80% non-functional, whereas African people have 100% functional pineal gland. Pineal gland is a gland that is in the center of your brain, and it makes a brain cell for all the cells in the body. It is the master gland. Without it, nothing happens. All they tell us is that the pineal gland makes black, but they do not tell you that without the pineal gland, there's no nucleus to any cell in your body. If your pineal gland is very active and stimulated, you can make yourself darker. So they are deficient in melanin, you see. And without the melanin, you have no balance. You lack spirituality. Remember, they're coming from the Ice Age.
And the hell of Layla used to talk. He used to go in on the Caucasian people like crazy. Shout out to the guy in Layla, Africa. Yeah, you know, your pineal gland is also that mechanism that's going to keep you moving. You feel me? And in this aspect that you move in, you know what next plays to make. You feel me? Look, he says it right here. Look, let me see if I can skip.
If you're of what you would call an addictive person, someone that has to do things step by step. Because when you're high in melanin, you are creative, you're more intuitive. So you create your own steps. But when you're deficient in melanin, you have to go step by step by step. And that's called addictive behavior. If I were to teach someone with a melanin deficiency how to dance, I better paint the steps by step on the floor. That is because they're coming out of a melanin deficiency. And that's obsessive compulsive behavior, which you call racism. So, obsessive compulsive people.
So, you know, we're not the step by step reality. They had a show called Step by Step. Y'all remember Step by Step? All white people and shit. Crazy enough. You know, we're in the aspect of flow, moving how the wind blows. So then that's why we are creative in the endeavors of dance, singing, rap, art, sports, podcasts, whatever. You feel me? Because at the same time, at the end of the day, it's just a thing where we just in sync in the flow and the rhythm of what's going on in the environment that we're in at the moment. So now, in order to tap into your creative ability and start moving into your dharma where you're giving to others, right? You want to turn your pineal gland on heavy, because all the toxic foods, all the low vibrational music, all the trash ideas and thought process or the mindset that's keeping us looking for something outside of ourselves is keeping us dependent on the logic. You feel me? Instead of the divine feminine energy, which is creative energy, which is that creative flow. All right, let's keep it rolling. Instagram. So detox, family, detox if you have to, because that's going to put you in another state of understanding and receiving information.
If you're an actor, if you're an artist, but I nearly burst into tears watching this morning. So check it out.
In between things, I've been bankrupt. I've worked in restaurants. I've driven school buses. I've driven a cab, always knowing that I would get back to what I do. That was something I had to do to be able to survive. So I tell people, you know, survive. You got to survive, but then you have to know when to step away from that survival. Because, see, life is not, it's never going to be the same. It's always changing. And it's not always comfortable. And you have to take a chance and a risk. And the chance and risk you have to take is on you, right? It's investing in you. And so if you don't see it, I'm going to see it for you without even knowing what any of you do, right? That's the chance and the risk you have to take, knowing this. If you know that the universe is composed of energy, it's the energy of goodness, it's the energy of light, it's the energy that wants you to succeed. If you don't have that energy within you, you better find it. Because once you find that, you'll step out on the edge and the universe is going to catch you. It's going to hear you. It's going to feel you. It's going to feel your love and your dedication, and it's going to support you like a cloud, like a pillow. And you're going to open a door, and that door, someone's going to say, I want you to do this. And you're going to go, tears are going to come to your eyes because you're going to say, that's what I've always wanted to do. Don't wait to be great. You are great right now, here in this moment, every second, every single day. All you have to do is invite it. And once you invite it, it's there, it's on you. And be careful what you ask for, because once that door opens, you better be ready to step through it. You got to step through it with all your heart and all your soul, and everything will be energized surrounding that.
What's my guy's name again? The actor. Yeah, he dropped on that thing. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, see, that's what we're talking about right there. So I don't what y'all want me to say. You just summed it up right there. You feel me? At the end of the day, you're gonna have to understand that you have this life to live for you. And if you are not enjoying yourself, getting up every day, going to something, slaving at something that's not serving you, then you need to put in the work to set yourself free, the spiritual work and the physical work. Because the miracle will happen when you are in action, in motion. But if you're not in motion, if you're just, stuck and stagnant, then, you're going to keep on falling into the same thing every year, 2026, 2027, 2028. You're going to look up, it's going to be 2040. Like, damn, I'm still at this job. Yeah, damn. Every time you just little by little, step by step. Speaking of step by step, but little by little, walking up the ladder, right? Until you set free. That's essentially what I did. It was just small. And then it happened so quick. You was like, oh shit. You feel me? Just working on myself heavy. Look, see, the reason why I can decode all these movies and these shows or whatever is just based off of me just working on myself. The end. Working on my pineal gland, working on, my emotional system, right? Stepping out of the space of judgment and fear. And I be seeing all kinds of signs and symbols all the time. You see that damn, whatever this shit is, that Atlanta, Ratlanta thing with Thug and all of that. Nigga, that's a spiritual symbol. These niggas said there's rats and snakes. Fuck what they doing and whatever it is. That's a spiritual symbol. Rats means a prosperous thing in the Buddhist culture, right? And we all know what snakes mean, right? So now all of a sudden you got to say, damn, why they keep on saying rats and snakes? Why does this keep on coming up? Well, that's a sign to get all your work, baby. Hold on, let me see what rats mean, because we're about to find out. Rats spiritual meaning. Oh shit, see? I knew it was something. Cause I remember I was looking, I had a dream about rats. And I was like, I ain't fucking with rats, cause when I used to stay at St. Thomas with my grandma, and then them rats used to fuck me up seeing them. Okay, it says, spiritually, rats are complex symbols representing both positive traits like resourcefulness, intelligence, adaptability, and prosperity, especially in Chinese and Hindu cultures, and negative ones like infestation, poverty, and deceit. Seeing a rat can signify the need for clever survival, overcoming obstacles, or attracting good fortune, while a rat spirit animal embodies those positive qualities in a person. Fly, intelligence and resourcefulness, adaptability and survival, prosperity and wealth. You feel me? I don't gotta look up what snakes mean. So now everybody complaining or saying these niggas Ratlanta and stuff, and you rats and snakes or whatever. And I'm looking at it like, shit, okay, spirit is telling somebody something. You feel me? Y'all better get to work. And the more you work on yourself, the easier the world becomes. So that's why I keep on saying that blame game YouTube shit that everybody's doing on this content street is not doing absolutely nothing. Oh my God, it's so bad, because again, it's like we don't have that much time on this thing. Life is quick and long at the same time. So now you're going to constantly be on the rat race, right? Running on that hamster wheel and just keeping yourself distracted with the goyim information that doesn't do nothing for you. Absolutely amazing time we're living in, and that's part of the work that you came down here to experience. Is to how to get out of the rat race, how to get out of the mental slavery of the goyim, of the drudgery of this thing. Here we go. Let's keep it going. Shout out to the God.
Anyone you will ever see that is successful, they're successful because of two things. The two things. It doesn't matter on your education. It doesn't matter on the color of your skin. It doesn't matter on your background. Any successful person that you will ever see, they're successful because of two things. So you look at them and the two things. First thing is that you have to be ruthlessly focused. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people's lives are full of things that really do not matter. And the only time people tend to realize that is if they're sick, if they're ill, if they have a bad illness, they get rid of all the stuff that they worry about and focus on what matters. So the most important thing, one of the most important things, is to be ruthlessly focused. The other thing, and this is far more important than the first thing, is that you have to have passion. And the reason why passion is important is because it defies reason, it defies logic, it doesn't make sense. If you do things that make sense, it would never ever happen. So if you think you could only do this if you got this qualification or this background, it never happens. And when people are confused, when they say, well, what do you mean by passion? I said, have you ever seen somebody when they're in love? Have you ever seen them? They do crazy things, man. They do really stupid things. They do things that do not make sense. So it goes to show that we all have the capacity to be passionate rather than directing it towards another person, direct it towards yourself. So you need to have focus and passion.
Focus and passion. Focus and passion. Shout out to the great elder. Yeah, I mean, there's aspects of that comes into the fold where your passion will literally move you into a supreme focus. So now all of a sudden, you're literally scheduling, systematizing your days. And that's just part of the love you have for yourself. See, when we talk about love for yourself, we're talking about that. Not falling into limbo of the distractory energy, but falling in love with what you got going on. I just did a video on the Patreon with the Reverend Ike where we was talking about rooting for yourself, chapter 12, rooting for yourself. And essentially what he was saying was like, nigga, hey, there ain't no other way but to focus in on self and love on yourself heavy. The end. You can watch all that distraction shit when you free, but right now it's time for you to get to work. Because at the same time, at the end of the day, you definitely don't want to look up 40, 50, 60 years old because you was afraid to put down an hour a day for yourself. 1 hour a day. And shit, I do, in the amount of work that I put in on what I got going on is amazing. When I look at it, I'll be like, damn. And then I'm looking at it, I'll say, be like, damn, I need to do more. You feel me? I can do more. Literally, I'll be on this YouTube stuff in the rising. That's it. Then I might have some consultations in the afternoon or whatever, but cool. Other than that, morning. But I systematized it for 9:30 every day. You feel me? So that's why y'all see me on Motion Mondays, 9:30. Tuesday, 9:30. Wednesday, 9:30 in Patreon. Thursday, 9:30 in Patreon. Friday, 9:30. You know what I'm saying? Putting something down just based off of I'm passionate about this because my story just basically tells that, right? Just my whole journey is engulfed in this particular idea. You feel me? Just based off of me being passionate about NLP at 16, 17, about the mind, right? And then getting distracted with that David Icke and Alex Jones shit. Like, even though I was looking at Bobby, that David Icke and Alex Jones shit was a little bit more stronger, right? Because honestly, I thought Bobby was talking about the same thing at that age too. That's how your mind just be fucked up, right? And he kind of was, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't go deeper into what Bobby was really saying, which is get to work, do the spiritual work, right? So boom, falling into that illusion, right? Thinking that the world don't even mean shit. It's all an illusion, fuck it, right? And causing myself to fall into a drug-infested, drug addict adventure, which was good for me because, again, that's what the climb was. I had to climb out of that. So since I was able to climb out of that, now I'm able to experience a different high. Instead of being high on drugs, I'm high on life. And the high on life is absolutely an amazing feeling because, again, nobody tells me what to do, what time to get up, or no shit like that. Except for D-Ray, she might do that a little bit, but shit, I signed up for that shit. Looking ass. Be like, take out the trash, nigga. We need the car washed. On my ass. Hey, I need you to change these diapers right here. Sure enough, my son about to turn 2, so I cannot wait to drop their ass off. Because we on trips, baby. I'm talking about we up. That was just a 40-year-old, and my son, he made it 4 days, and we like, Grandma, how was he? Oh, he was good. He was chilling. And we're like, all right, better keep an eye out on that. So he wasn't too hard, huh? Nah, I could do it. Okay, shit. I got in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, bet. I got you. You could do whatever, huh? Now, you know, that's the hard thing. You can't just be taxing your grandma because we was trying to hit her back this weekend. It's fun to lay right back. Hey, you want to take these kids off our hands real quick? Ha! And slowly but surely, we you know, as our sons get older, we're looking at, you know, finding a babysitter that we can trust and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But we've been mind controlled into babysitter sleeping with my son and shit. My son, about 9, he getting some ass from babysitter and shit. Ha! Let me stop playing with y'all. God damn. All right, let's do one more, y'all. Let's do one more.
The Great Lock-In starts on September 1st, and the planets are working in our favor. For those of you who do not know, the Great Lock-In is a season in which people are setting various goals for themselves, and they're being super focused and super disciplined in order to achieve those goals by the end of the year. So this could look like setting the goal to work out 5 days a week. This could look like eating clean. This could also look like starting therapy. This could also look like anything that you desire and feel led to do that will elevate your wellness, any aspect of your holistic wellness. Now, this Great Lock-In starts September 1st and will last to the end of the year or beyond if you desire. The intent is to walk into the new year as a higher version of yourself, an elevated version of yourself manifested. Now, when I say the planetary alignment is working in our favor for this Great Lock-In, I'm speaking specifically of Saturn retrograde. Recently, Saturn, our planet of boundaries, restrictions, and discipline, has been retrograde in the fiery sign of Aries. This could have looked like a lot of challenges when it comes to your boundaries and restrictions being pushed by other people. This could also look like not really feeling like yourself when it comes to your areas of discipline, having a bit of a scatterbrain when it comes to identifying your passions. Well, Saturn retrograde is moving back into Pisces, which is our mutable water sign ruled by Neptune. Now, Neptune is our planet of dreams and spirituality. When we are talking about Pisces energy, we are talking about the energy of being super self-aware and introspective, also highly intuitive. When Saturn, our planet of boundaries and restrictions, as well as discipline, is retrograde in the sign of Pisces, you will feel a natural increase in your self-awareness. That increase of self-awareness will help you to be able to set those goals for the Great Lock-In. But
That's good. The Great Lock-In. Okay, let's go. Let's run it. Hey, it's a great lock-in. whatever you need to motivate yourself. The great lock-in starts today. So lock in, get it in with yourself. You feel me? Hour a day. How can I put in an hour a day of myself? You feel me? Hey, if y'all want to get a great lock-in, y'all come to the Patreon. We building in that bitch. We running amok on that thing. We all moving in positive, powerful spaces to uplift ourselves into, loving on ourselves, building for ourselves, growing an aspect of development. And it's basically a positive encouragement group. And niggas need that. Because again, it's a lonely road, this spiritual work. And everybody talking about the blame game, but we talking about looking at ourselves and blaming the man in the mirror and then holding ourselves accountable to win. Hey, get with the family, man, because there ain't no distraction over there. We talking some real deal Holyfield that's going to put you on your ass. And, I'm just bringing forth the level of organization and focus. But there's a lot of great minds in the book clubs. And then and Patreon now has a live feature, baby. It's going down. So I'm going to be on there more than anything, because now since they've started that live feature, essentially I can just go live from there. And on 9/9, I'm actually going live from there on 9/9/9/999, right? I'm going live from the Patreon because I'm doing a 9 Ether Being course live on Patreon on 9/9, which is next Tuesday, 9/9. So y'all be on the lookout for that, family. Shout out to Virgo, September 7th. Hey, that's my brother's birthday. Hey, go down. It's crazy. Why was I feeling like September 1st was important? Man, hey, one, because the ritual is to, like, when this holiday, this Labor Day, right, it felt right now, cool. The ritual is literally to say, okay, and it's a Monday, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff is alignment. The ritual is for you to look back, look up, and say, wait a minute. I might be in the wrong field. Now, again, if you love your job and you're doing something that's your dharma, then go for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to understand this ain't about having a business, even though Claude Anderson says it or whatever, right? This is more so about you fulfilling energies inside of you, which is your dharma, which is you giving to somebody and you feeling that positive outlook on yourself, feeling that love for yourself, fulfilling something down here in this reality rather than, just the survival and the egotistical things and you buying things. There's a bigger fish to fry, and that fish to fry is you giving somebody else your wisdom, your music, your artistry. It's a feeling, right, that you're giving them, and that's more powerful than anything. Yes, sir, family. Yes, sir. I love and appreciate y'all. Love and appreciate y'all. Until next time, we're going to get it in, family. Y'all know what it is. Peace to the gods.